The planet Orion, 7 was the outer jewel of the Varelian Empire. From orbit, it looked like a glowing sapphire suspended in darkness. Vast oceans shimmered beneath 3 small moons, and floating cities hovered above continents filled with silver forests and crystal mountains. But beauty often hides danger. Orion, 7 sat dangerously close to the frontier of known space, a region plagued by pirates, rogue warlords, and alien mercenary clans who constantly tested the Empire's defenses. That was why soldiers like me existed. My name is Kale Rindar, a border guard in the Imperial Defense Fleet. I wasn't famous. I wasn't noble. I was just another soldier wearing mass-produced combat armor and following orders on a distant world few people cared about. Or at least, that's what I thought before the day everything changed. The day I nearly died protecting the princess. Chapter 2. A Soldier Without a Future. Most Imperial soldiers dreamed of glory. I didn't. Glory usually meant getting shot at. I came from a mining colony on the edge of Imperial territory, where life was simple. Work hard, survive, and hope pirates didn't raid your settlement. Joining the military was the only way out. After 6 years of training and service, I had learned 3 important truths. First, the Empire was far larger than anyone could imagine. Second, soldiers like me were replaceable. And third, politics among the royal family could be more dangerous than any battlefield, which made the news we received one morning extremely surprising. The Imperial Princess was coming to Orion, 7. Chapter 3. The Royal Visit. Princess Lyra Varelia was the only daughter of the Queen Mother, ruler of the Varelian Empire. She was known across the galaxy for 2 things: her intelligence and her stubborn courage. Unlike most royals, Princess Lyra insisted on visiting remote planets to personally understand the lives of her people. Orion, 7 was next on her list. Naturally, the entire military command panicked. Royal visits meant perfect security, flawless protocol, and absolutely no mistakes. For 3 days, the base turned into chaos. Defense drones were upgraded. Security patrols doubled. Every soldier received strict orders. Protect the princess at all costs. None of us expected that those words would soon become terrifyingly literal. Chapter 4. The Arrival. The royal cruiser arrived at dawn. It descended through the clouds like a falling star, its golden hull reflecting sunlight across the ocean. Thousands of citizens gathered near the landing platforms to see the princess. When the cruiser's ramp lowered, the royal escort emerged first, elite guards wearing shimmering energy armor. Then she appeared. Princess Lyra. She looked younger than I expected, maybe 25 by human standards. Her long silver hair moved softly in the ocean wind, and her uniform was far simpler than typical royal attire. Instead of jewels and extravagant robes, she wore a sleek diplomatic suit and a confident smile. She waved to the cheering crowd. Despite the strict security perimeter, she moved naturally among the people, asking questions and listening carefully. I was assigned to the outer defensive line that day, just another soldier standing quietly in the background. But fate had other plans. Chapter 5. The Hidden Threat. Orion, 7 had enemies. Many enemies. And some of them had been watching the princess's arrival very carefully. 3 hours into the royal visit, the first warning appeared on our scanners. Unidentified ships entering the atmosphere. At first, command assumed they were smugglers. But the ships ignored all communication attempts. Then they activated weapons. Everything happened in seconds. The ships weren't smugglers. They were mercenaries. Professional assassins. And they were heading straight for the princess. Chapter 6. Chaos. Sirens exploded across the city. Defense turrets activated. Crowds screamed and scattered. The enemy ships dove toward the landing district, unleashing plasma fire that shattered buildings and ignited explosions across the sky. Royal guards formed a defensive shield around Princess Lyra, but the attackers were well prepared. Drop pods slammed into the streets. Armored mercenaries emerged, their weapons glowing with lethal energy. They had one objective: kill the princess. I didn't think. Training took over. My squad rushed forward to reinforce the royal guard. Blaster fire filled the air as soldiers and mercenaries clashed across the city. But the enemy kept advancing, and they were getting closer. Too close. Chapter 7. The moment everything changed. Princess Lyra was being escorted toward an armored transport when the assassin appeared. He wasn't like the others. His armor was darker, heavier, and his weapon looked far more powerful. He leaped from the rooftop of a nearby building and landed directly in front of the princess. The royal guards fired instantly, but his energy shield absorbed the blasts. Then he raised his weapon, a charged plasma lance. One shot would be enough. Time seemed to slow. The princess was only a few meters away. The guards were reloading. No one could reach her in time, except me. Chapter 8. The broken armor. I ran. I didn't think about rank, orders, or consequences. I just ran. The assassin fired. A blazing lance of energy shot toward the princess. I jumped in front of her. The impact felt like a star exploding against my chest. My armor screamed as the energy tore through its shields. Metal cracked. Circuits exploded. The force threw me across the street. My vision blurred. Pain flooded every nerve in my body. But the princess was still alive. My armor, however, was completely shattered. Chapter 9. Between Life and Death. The royal guards finally brought down the assassin. Explosions echoed as the last mercenary ships fled the planet. But I barely heard any of it. Everything around me faded into darkness. The last thing I remember before losing consciousness was the princess kneeling beside me. Her voice sounded distant. "Stay with me, soldier." Then everything went black. Chapter 10. Awakening. When I woke up, I was in a medical chamber aboard the royal cruiser. Advanced healing technology hummed quietly around me. My body felt strange, lighter somehow. A voice spoke beside the bed. "You are very lucky." I turned my head. Princess Lyra was sitting next to me. "You survived injuries that should have been fatal," she said softly. I tried to sit up, but pain stopped me. "My armor?" I asked. She held up a small metallic fragment, the cracked chest plate of my combat suit. "It absorbed nearly all the plasma impact," she said. "Without it, and without you stepping forward, I would not be alive." I didn't know what to say. After a moment, she smiled gently. "You saved the future ruler of an empire." Chapter 11. The Queen Mother arrives. 2 days later, the Queen Mother herself arrived on Orion 7. Her flagship dwarfed every ship in orbit. The ruler of the empire rarely left the capital, but an assassination attempt on her daughter changed everything. She demanded to meet the soldier who saved the princess. That soldier, unfortunately, was me. Still recovering from my injuries, I was escorted into the grand hall of the cruiser. The Queen Mother sat on a raised platform surrounded by advisors and commanders. Her presence alone commanded absolute silence. She studied me carefully. "You are Kael Rindar." "Yes, Your Majesty." "You stepped between my daughter and a plasma lance." "Yes, Your Majesty." She leaned slightly forward. "Why?" The question caught me off guard. "Because it was my duty." She remained silent for a long moment. Then she smiled, a rare expression for the most powerful ruler in the galaxy. "Duty," she said softly. "A rare quality." Chapter 12. An Unexpected Proposal. The Queen Mother dismissed the court except for the princess. Then she looked at me again. "Your actions saved the life of my daughter," she said. "The Empire owes you a great debt." "I was just doing my job," I replied. She shook her head. "No." Many soldiers had weapons that day. Only one chose to stand in front of death. Then she said something that stunned me. "I would like to reward your loyalty." I expected a medal, maybe a promotion. Instead, she said, "I offer you imperial citizenship, land within the capital system, and a place within the royal family." My brain struggled to understand. "I'm sorry, did you say royal family?" Princess Lyra looked slightly embarrassed. The Queen Mother nodded calmly. "Yes. You will marry my daughter." Chapter 13. Shock. For several seconds, I couldn't speak. Marry the princess? Me? A border guard from a mining colony? This must be a mistake, I said. The Queen Mother shook her head. "I have ruled the empire for 30 years. I do not make mistakes." Princess Lyra stepped forward. Her expression was calm, but curious. "My mother believes that courage and loyalty matter more than noble birth." I looked between them. This is a lot to process. The Queen Mother smiled slightly. "You are free to decline. But I believe my daughter deserves a partner who would risk everything to protect her." Princess Lyra studied me thoughtfully. "And I would like to know the man who saved my life." Chapter 14. A New Life. The weeks that followed felt like a dream. News of the assassination attempt, and my role in stopping it, spread across the empire. Citizens celebrated the soldier who saved the princess. Meanwhile, royal advisors attempted to transform me from a soldier into something far more complicated. A future prince. I learned diplomacy, imperial history, royal etiquette. But the most surprising part was getting to know Princess Lyra herself. She was intelligent, curious, and far less formal than the court expected. Often, we would walk through the gardens of the cruiser discussing planets, cultures, and exploration. "You still treat me like a soldier treats an officer," she said one evening. "I'm trying not to embarrass myself in front of royalty." She laughed. "You already jumped in front of a plasma weapon. Embarrassment should be easy after that." Chapter 15. The Wedding. 3 months later, the royal wedding took place in the capital city of Varelia Prime. Thousands attended. Billions watched across the empire. I stood beside Princess Lyra beneath a sky filled with floating lights and orbital ships forming a brilliant crown above the planet. The Queen Mother watched proudly from the throne balcony. When the ceremony ended, Lyra took my hand. "You still look surprised," she said quietly. "I went from a border soldier to marrying a princess. That would surprise anyone." She smiled. "But you earned it." I looked at the stars above the palace. "I was just trying to save your life." She squeezed my hand gently. "And in doing so," she said, "you changed both of our destinies." Chapter 16. A Future Beyond the Stars. Life in the royal family was nothing like military service. But some things never changed. The empire still had enemies. The frontier still needed defenders. And Princess Lyra still insisted on visiting distant worlds. The difference now was simple. Wherever she went, I went with her. Not just as a soldier, not just as her protector, but as her partner. And sometimes, when we looked out across the endless stars of the galaxy, she would smile and say the same thing. Funny how one moment can change everything. I would nod, because it was true. The day I risked my life to protect the princess was the day my ordinary life ended, and my extraordinary future began.